Over winter break, UNK is readying groups for a campus-wide move due to renovations to 3 buildings. This involves Greek housing, the library building, and Warner Hall. In this series, we'll dive into the details of the big move. We begin with university residents north and south. These buildings were built in the early 90s to last 20 years. It was a quick solution to bring Greek life to campus and was planned to be temporary. 30 years later, the buildings suffer from mechanical, electrical, and ventilation issues. UNK is renovating Martin Hall and building additional dorms to relocate Greek life. Project manager Greg Kristen gave me a tour of the fraternity dorm. UNK officials have discussed plans for new Greek housing since project manager Greg Kristen was a UNK fraternity member.
Is it everything you dreamed it would be?
As an alumnus, Kristen is keeping UNK's promise by managing the Martin Hall renovations and sorority building construction.
I think we always knew that Greek housing would happen at some point, but I don't know that anyone thought it was going to happen this quick. It's been pretty fun to be involved from this side of it and helped to give kind of that Greek perspective on the project team.
The $32 million project will preserve historic features with large windows, a porch, 235 beds, chapter spaces, and a great room. Next door, green space will connect the sorority building. Here on the other side of campus, fraternities and sororities are currently living in university residences north and south. The students have offered feedback for this project since the beginning. Recently, Greek leaders toured the new dorms.
It kind of does feel like a separate campus just because we're kind of secluded. So I'm really excited to get back on the main campus and be able to show the rest of campus what we're all about, because we're kind of in our own little bubble over here.
The current dorms were built in the 90s to last 20 years. Since the building contracts expired, residents have experienced problems such as flooding and leaking. Fraternities will move next spring and sororities will move in the fall. UNK will also host alumni tours during homecoming week to say hello to Greek life's new home. For Antelope News, I'm Grace McDonald. It's time for the next step in our Big Move series, the Calvin T. Ryan Library renovation. Half of the building is shutting down in January for this project. I explored where the academic groups will be relocated and what the library staff is doing with excess books.
May I have your attention, please? The library is now closing, the lights will be turned off, and the doors will be locked in 5 minutes. Thank you.
The Calvin T. Ryan Library will be closing, but not entirely. The renovation process will be split into 2 phases. Phase 1 will start in January, shutting down the building's east half and the basement. Project managers will update the ventilation system, improve lighting, renovate the back entrance, and remove the dividing wall between the library and the Mitchell Center.
So we really want to be seen as one of the hubs of campus. We really hope that this is one-stop shop that the student can come to.
Library offices will be relocated in the spring, including the honors program, which already moved to Men's Hall.
We brought with us our conference table and our conference chairs, and the students distributed them where they thought it would be useful, and we moved here. And so we're now in what was the hall director's apartment.
The Learning Commons Tutoring Center will be set up in the university residence north lobby.
It'll definitely be trial and error to start it out, and I figure it's probably going to be a lot like it is here with just less space.
Other library offices will move to the east hallway of the Mitchell Center. As the library enters a new chapter, teaching faculty are helping staff refine its book collection. The outdated books are labeled for removal with yellow and pink tags. Government documents were cut in half, and the book collection lost 20% of its titles. The staff is moving documents online and reselling books. The library will maintain its current open hours next spring. The $25 million project will be completed in June 2024. For Antelope News, I'm Grace McDonald. During the big move, the Communication Department wing will shut down in Phase 1 of the library renovation. Its new home will be University Residence South after the fraternities move out. I asked the department head how communication students will be accommodated. On the south side of the library lies the Mitchell Center. It hosts the UNK Department of Communication. Come January, the communication students will move to West Campus during renovations and ventilation system repairs.
It is temporary, it's a must, and it's going to be good for us in the long run.
Other changes include removing the dividing library wall and revamping this west entrance. During Phase 1, Mitchell Center students will move to University Residence South when the fraternities transition to new housing. Michael Frandelig, an AdPR major and fraternity member, will be trading his old dorm room for his professor's offices.
It's kind of funny that it's like flip-flopping almost. I just really don't see it as a workspace. So this is my room. I have the coolest room in the fraternity house. So yeah, this is mine.
The Phi Delta Theta space will house a lecture room, a secretary lounge, the Antelope newsroom, and a small computer lab. Next semester, students will go to Discovery Hall and West Center for classes and computer lab access. The only program staying in the Mitchell Center wing is the student radio station.
Just wanting to find out, what was going on, I think was the biggest thing. I mean, I like to joke that I spend more time here than I do my own apartment. And so as the process has gone along, I feel the communication has gotten better.
During Phase 2, KLPR will stay on air with students entering through the fire exit. Phase 1 will continue throughout the summer, and the department is expected to return next fall. For Antelope News, I'm Grace McDonald. For our final episode of the Big Move series, while the library is renovated in phases, Warner Hall is going to be completely offline in the spring. Here is a brief summary of administration changes and updates about the moving process. This is the new Chancellor's office on the 3rd floor of the Student Union.
And so I just got my desk set up this afternoon, and I'm starting to unpack stuff. So this will be me.
These administrators are among many who are settling into temporary spaces during the Warner Hall renovation. The old building is getting a new roof, doors, windows, and ventilation improvements. Fire safety technology will also be installed as Warner Hall currently does not have a sprinkler system. Legislature Bill 384 funds the $5 million project and other postponed maintenance around campus. Warner Hall will be completed near the beginning of 2024. In the meantime, UNK's goal is to relocate departments, students, and offices before the 3-week January intersession ends.
Most of them have kind of taken it upon themselves to load up their cars and trucks and just moving it over on their own to their location. We're providing some boxes, obviously, if they want to pack up stuff, and we'll hire a moving company.
The fraternities moved into Martin Hall January 13th. Students are living in the dorm while renovations continue. Sororities will stay in the old dorms alongside relocated campus groups next semester. The completion of their housing was pushed back to this fall.
It's kind of the cost of progress that everybody's going to be a little disconnected for a bit, kind of different locations.
Gatula said UNK Communications will send out updates on relocations. In the meantime, Lopers are on the move. For Antelope News, I'm Grace McDonald.